All right, a little update on how my electronics learning's going. I just set up this circuit after learning a bunch of stuff from this make book about electronics. Two 555 timer circuits, one which is basically provides a monostable state, which means that it has one state it prefers to be in, which is off. And when you activate it, it switches to on, but isn't stable in that state. So after some period of time, determined by the resistor and capacitor circuit combo, basically telling you how long it takes to fully charge or discharge one of these capacitors, it'll switch. So I'll show you. I have this breadboard hooked up via my switching power supply. It's putting through 9 volts, just like a 9-volt battery. I have both rails connected together so that the negative side of both rails is, the negative side of both rails is set to negative voltage. The positive side is positive voltage. Just as a reminder, because I'm not always looking at my power supply, I put this little indicator LED here just so I know not to mess with my circuit when power's running through it. Well, I do that sometimes anyway. And basically, so there's power going to this. There's this 555 timer right here set up in a monostable circuit. And what happens is if I press this on button, it's going to trigger this circuit. It's going to trigger the number 2 pin of this IC. That's going to cause it to turn on. And then as this capacitor charges or discharges, eventually it'll turn it off. So watch this. So we turn it on. Should stay on for a couple seconds and then turn itself off. I have this other button here that was just a part of their circuit, which will come later, where you can switch it off really quick. Okay, then I have this other circuit, and this is where I'm actually going to put in some power directly in. So this is actually in bistable mode, which means that, actually, sorry, not bistable, astable, meaning it's not stable in either state. So it's going to keep switching on and off and on and off and on and off and on and off, except instead of switching an LED on and off every few seconds, it's going to switch on this speaker that's connected to its output pin 1,500 times a second. So 1.5 hertz, pretty high-pitched sound. So I'm just going to drive power to this, and you're going to hear it. Okay, pretty awful, I know. Bear with me. So this is actually the starter of an alarm circuit. So what I can do, instead of getting power right from the power rail, is I can get power right from the output pin of this circuit. So the output pin is pin 3. So 1, 2, 3. Oop, I accidentally triggered it by touching something. Let me discharge that. And let me plug this in there. So now what will happen is if I press this button, it'll turn on the alarm, and then the alarm will stay on for a certain number of seconds and then turn off. Pretty cool, huh? And then if I, alarms are annoying. Sometimes you trigger them accidentally. That's what the second button is for like a manual override. Now, if I put another 5.5 timer in here, I could have another controller. So that instead of going beep, it would go beep, 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 beep. So just by chaining them all together to get the same effect. So that's where I'm at right now. Other fun stuff is you can see a lot of these little jumper wires. Like the black one, the yellow one, the little red one that's driving power. I'm cutting those and slicing those myself with my wire cutters and my various color things here. I actually had to do a few repairs to this speaker. One, you're not going to be able to see it. Let's see. So you can see it has this black goop from where they manufactured, and the wire actually melted over the solder. Well, this end of the wire, the right side, came detached, so I had to resolder it myself. And then because these were originally, I have another one here, you can see they're originally very thin braided wires with no exposed ends. It actually had a jumper, or not a jumper, a small connector, which I cut off. Then I actually took a thicker unbraided wire it's easy to plug into a breadboard. I soldered it together. The solder job is actually underneath the shrink wrap tubing. You can actually see that on the end here. There you can see it. That it's like a white wire underneath, but then I use this black shrink wrap tubing to wrap over it. Let me put this back where it's supposed to go. This should be pinned, output pin, pin 3. Okay. So yeah, made those little mods. Oh, get back in focus, you. What other neat stuff did I have to do to repair this? No, that was all I had to do to repair that. I just basically modified this. I think it's a 3 ohm speaker. Just fixed the jumper, or added jumpers to it, and then fixed the soldering job on that. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. So fun stuff. I'm just going to make my way through this book and then, get some of these practical fundamentals and then keep messing around with other stuff.